They're 10-3, the West Coast Eagles, and about to make their way out onto Blundstone Arena. They've won only 2 of their last 4, and there's a late change for the West Coast Eagles. Michael, out of the team, their vice captain, Beau Waters, who's got a bit of a leg injury. He's been replaced by Kobe Stevens in Daniel Kerr's 200th match.
Well, it's fantastic for Daniel Kerr. They will miss Waters. He's a very, very tough, unrelenting footballer. Kicks the ball pretty well out of defence. Kerr's been an amazing player. He's not that big, but one of the greatest strengths that he's got is his strength around his core. Very rarely gets trapped, very rarely goes to ground, gives the ball off, and really has had his fair share of injuries, but keeps bouncing back and is a very important part of their midfield.
He's in his 12th season of football, and he's the 17th West Coast Eagle today to play 200 games. So 3 changes for the Eagles. Butler, Schofield and Stevens come in. Brown, Shepherd and now Beau Waters go out.
Yeah, Schofield comes back and he's been a very important part. Tall, runs the ball very well. Butler's a ball-getting player, mainly plays in the midfield, but has found his niche on the half-back line. He can't just quite get back into that midfield. And Toby Stevens, yes, he's a very good young lad that just can't quite break into an excellent football side. But they are an extremely well-organised, well-coached side.
The Kangaroos trying to make their way back into the 8 where they started the round before the Blues had that magnificent win last night. The Eagles, led by Nick Naitanui in the centre this afternoon, will try to be finding top spot this afternoon. But Sydney have still got a match against the Lions to wrestle that back. Percentage all important in 2012.
Interesting too that McKenzie has gone to Petrie, at least in the early going. So away we go. Goldstein against Naitanui. We know how enormous that task is going to be this afternoon. He knocks it down Priddis' way. Early free kick from the umpire, and Jack Darling takes the footy and goes long down to Dean Cox. This is how they started last week, and they do it in exactly the same fashion back-to-back weeks. How about that? Just kicked 16 goals, 8 this season. Last year, just 10 goals, 9. This for goal number 17 for the season, and the West Coast Eagles get the perfect start. They got a goal inside a minute last week, and they've done it again this week.
He's such a strong player for a start off. He's got the height advantage. And more important, he's got the talent to be able to take a mark and normally a deadly kick. A great start by West Coast.
Waiting down McMillan. He's been a good player this year. Handball inside for Wells. Didn't hit the target. Bastinak did well, though. They've worked it around to Zeeble. Just taking a little while to settle down. Both teams feeling each other out. A venue they're not particularly familiar with. Butler now the premiership player to Cox to try and steady things down. Waiting down was Rosa, and his kick out wide is marked by Lynch just inside the field of play. North Melbourne 1-1-7, West Coast a straight goal.
Lynch terrific to Cox from 60. Well, a beautifully weighted ball in the end finds Daniel Kerr.
His accuracy is when he's got time, so he has got time, but the distance, it shouldn't worry him, but he's not a long kick. I think he's had a lot of groin problems.
Well, this time, the distance and the accuracy are both no problem for Daniel Kerr. The Eagles, they get their second.
The sun's rightly directly in the North Melbourne forwards' eyes, so that could create some havoc today.
Naitanui brilliant out of the ruck. He sends it down towards full forward. Darling applied a tackle. Well done by Ferrito. Fired a handball backwards. It ends up with McMillan. Well, it was hard work for Ferrito. Taken high. Bastinak might be a free kick. Could be holding the ball. Kerr gathers the football. Throws it on the boot. He's just offline behind West Coast by 7 points.
And he didn't miss by much, but once the ball's in his hands, your way of tackling, you really have to get both arms right around him.
Atley does okay. Gets rid of it in the end, and charging through was Swallow. He left the ball behind, ends up with Priddis, goes long, and he's accurate again. Gets the ball a lot, and he uses it well. He gets Eagles third. And Priddis off the ground to Cox, and now they go to the wing. A chance for Dargan, loses his feet. Ferrito goes back, slaps it cleverly to Atley. Goes one way, then the other, inside to McMillan. He fumbles, he does get caught. Naitanui, handball wasn't perfect. They continue just to charge forward, the Eagles, but not with clean possession. Well done, Gibson. He came crashing through and got wrapped up by Naitanui.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, mate.
That free kick didn't go to North Melbourne.
Certainly looked a free kick. It was McKenzie with the arm across. Almost a shot on goal by North. They might get one yet. The skipper, well tackled by Priddis. Comes to Gaff, now to Marston. Handball for Hams, close to the line, and he's happy to see it over.
Quickly he gives it off. Boomer Harvey tries to get around his man and does. Now to the top of the square. They'll fly all Eagles in the end. And Nick Naitanui saves the day right on quarter time. So, on a beautiful day in Tasmania, we're seeing a cracking game of football. The Kangaroos get the last 4 of the first term, and it's the Roos by 11 points at quarter time.
And let's go down to Brett Kirk with John Worsfold.
John, looks like the boys are struggling to adjust to the dimensions. What do you think?
Yeah, not so much the dimensions. I think the surface, we haven't taken our opportunities to kick forward that well and haven't had a lot of depth on our kicks.
Yeah. And what was the message in the second quarter?
Really, for this quarter, the work rate's okay. We just haven't played that smart. We sort of put ourselves in position where we turn the ball over a few too many times. So get the ball forward quicker.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Hobart getting excited about this Kangaroos outfit. Big crowd in again. Adams, outstanding last week, wins the ball, kicks it in the Hanson direction, but Schofield just drifts across. Wells, terrific, does well, steps inside, and he can send the Roos forward again. Nice ball to Bastanak, now to Adams and to Anthony. Looks inside, finds his man. Harvey, normally good, not this time. And Brennan.
The North Melbourne forwards just look so dangerous at the moment. Their three-prong attack in Tarrant, Hanson and Petrie look really effective. They're putting the West Coast defenders under the pump at the moment.
I think Kirky can throw in there Thomas as well. He's really damaging deep against Butler.
Well, Rosa cuts off the McMahon ball.
So, West Coast, their last goal at the 15-minute mark of the opening term. Every chance here to go through the whole second quarter without a goal being scored. And sure, it's slippery underfoot, but it's otherwise perfect conditions for footy. Gibson goes back to Grimer and the kick towards the outer side, and Hearn rises high and takes a good mark.
Quickly into the middle they go. Lynch on the lead. They're desperate for a goal now, the Eagles. Their last goal was Priddis halfway through the first term.
Free kick was there.
Let's go, Jack!
To make it a 27-point lead. It'll be the last kick of the first half. Goalless so far in this term. Darling kicks the first for the Eagles in the second term. A remarkable first half for the Kangaroos. One late for the Eagles. 9:3:57. West Coast 4:6:30. It's a 27-point lead to the Kangaroos.